You are listening to Peak One Sports.
Welcome to the Peak One Sports Fight Night preview, brought to you by the Bungalow Sports Show. We're going to get a name eventually. We're going to get a new name.
I vote 12-6 podcast.
12-6, what does that mean?
The 12-6 that will?
Illegal move. The illegal, I like that. Yeah. We'll have to, that's not taken. It feels like something that'd be taken. We have to Google that.
Yeah.
But
I haven't heard it.
Me neither. That's a good 12-6. 12-6. Something, yeah, okay. We'll kick that one around. I like that. Long before, this isn't the first MMA show I've done, you know?
Yeah. Back
at the beginning, before the Wisest Wizards on Stallion Radio Network, there was MMAs for Assholes.
Yeah.
And that was my first dive into an MMA podcast. But 12-6, I like that. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I was looking up a bunch of, illegal moves, and, I didn't want to, something like the rest
or
something, eye poke. Yeah.
The eye poke podcast.
Butt punch is a good one, too, but that move's not illegal.
No, that comes from...
wrestling.
No, that comes from Rampage Jackson.
Yeah.
That comes from... It was before they did embeddeds. It was the countdown. Remember, they would do countdowns? And it was Rampage was in camp for... maybe the Chuck Liddell fight?
Well, yeah,
the rematch, you know? I can't remember. It was a long time ago.
I just remember his accent and the way he talks. Man, you got hit with them butt punches, man.
Yeah, I fell in love with that phrase then, and that's when butt punch became my screen name for everything.
Yeah.
Because I watched that episode of that countdown probably 3 or 4 times in a row, just because he's such an entertaining dude to have a camera follow around, because just the stuff he says is funny. His love for ketchup made me like him more on that countdown, one of those episodes where that's the only sugar he wouldn't give up in camp is ketchup. You know what I mean? Because he's like, I can eat anything. I'll eat a shoe if you put ketchup on it. You know what I mean? So it's funny now. It seems like Conor McGregor brought in the entertainment side of MMA, but there's always been characters in MMA. It's just now it's more of a shit talking type character, but before it was just personality.
Yeah, well, we always gloss over Chael Sonnen. Chael Sonnen was the legit it was super fake, very WWE style.
It was calculated.
Yeah, the calculated when they started doing the embedded, he did this own little spin-off the Diaries of American Gangster.
Right, that was when he was fight Anderson Silva.
Yeah, and he's you don't know where I've been from. There was 2 people
the mean streets of Eugene, Oregon or whatever.
Yeah, and he's I was at the park and someone literally just littered in front of my face, and I had to witness that.
In front of my face, yeah. He was Chael Sonnen was a character, and then just the guys from Pride and that whole side of it, because the Japanese have always put a professional wrestling spin on their MMA, one FC and all that. They still do the walkouts and that kind of stuff, which is cool. The UFC has always been anti that. You know what I mean? They were always as real as it gets. You know what I mean? No flashy walkouts, no nothing like that. Just come. But see, they started.
Yeah, they started. They were on a good track. I felt it was this is where the martial art the proving ground.
Right.
And then every once in a while you see the stage antics. So at first I understand the entertainment aspect, but I do wish it was more showcasing.
It is it's a touchy area for me, because I do understand the intensity and of it and everything, and kind of the walkouts and the elaborate stuff is kind of Muay Thai is as brutal as it gets, but they dance.
Oh yeah, they have the dance, the White Crew dance, which
it's kind of a break in the tension before the real shit goes down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't want the UFC to start doing crazy walkouts ONE FC. I'm glad that it's separate.
As long as it's only Izzy doing it, coming out with his little dancing.
Right.
I'm okay with that.
But still, they're not doing fireworks and a ramp and a big freaking LED screens with like
get lowered from the
a
rafters
music video and shit like that. Yeah. And that's fine, and it's fine. That's fine for the Japanese.
Yeah.
But not over here. No, I'm just kidding. Alexis is actually in studio today.
Yes, I am.
We didn't even address that. You're back up here in this dust pit for a little bit.
Yeah.
A real windy day today, so the skies are nice and gray with farm dust today.
I'm a little coffee, a little congested.
Yeah.
You guys get here and
it hits you, dude.
Yeah.
Well, I do, like, in my line of work, I end up working in a lot of old people's houses, because around here, like, old people are the ones who have money to do remodels and shit like that. Like, no young people have money in California.
Especially when you have kids, man. Everything's out the window.
And especially with the climate now. It's like, you and I are old now, but, like, I bought this house when I was 22 years old, so it's like, I had a career and financial stability super young. It's like there's people now that are turning 30 that
and don't even own a house.
Don't even have barely have a bank account, but because nobody's making any money and everything's super expensive, so whatever. But I work with a lot of old people, and dude, I've had at least once or twice a year I run into someone who moved here, like an elderly person that maybe like their kid lives here. They're from another state, and they move here because, like, their spouse died, and they move here to be close to their grandkids or whatever, and they literally have to move within weeks of being here. Their doctors, like, they get so sick, and so, like, their sinus, like, everything inflames so much, they can't fucking breathe, all this stuff. And with young people, you can kind of get used to it after a while, you know what I mean? But when you're old, like, everything's harder. And I've literally, like, at least once a year have, like, an elderly person that's, like, in their 60s, 70s, that's, like, they'll move, they'll come here, I'll go put a shower door in their house because it's their brand new trailer or whatever they just moved into, and then I'll go back like a couple weeks later to do something else, and they'll be like, oh, I'm moving. It's like, what? It's like, yeah, I can't be here, I gotta get the fuck out of here.
Doctor said.
They either gotta go to the coast and spend more money, or they gotta just go back to where they came from.
Yeah.
And growing up in it, I never even...
Yeah, it wasn't like that bad growing up.
Never even... Well, I just think you're just used to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you've been gone for so long.
Yeah, like over 10 years. So.
Right. So it's like you've been in like you've got the ocean breeze, you've got just a whole different like air quality going on down where you are. Up here in the valley, it's just dirt.
Where they when what is it? The farmers start operating their plows, like all that dust comes over.
Well, and I think it's been extra dusty lately too, because like every summer we get a pool like the one you see out there now, that we put up, and like I'm pretty like anal about keeping it clean. I hate dirty pools, so like, and there's been so much more dirt I've had to clean off the bottom of that thing if I leave the cover off of it for like a day or two. Like, it's usually not like that. It usually takes like 4 or 5 days without a cover.
A little extra dusty.
And now it's like, I actually had to buy a freaking little vacuum. There's so much freaking dirt, you know what I mean?
Shit.
And this one's bigger than they normally are, so it's not as easy to drain all the time, you know what I mean?
So you're just like, fuck!
It takes all fucking day to drain it and fill it back up, but... Anyways, I'm happy to see you, dude.
I know, man.
We conversate on a daily basis, but maybe that's better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I see people all the time, I tend to not like them as much. You know what I mean?
Sorry about that.
It's not as special. You know what I mean? So.
No, you gotta keep the distance. The distance
you gotta
makes
keep
your what is it? Your friendship go fonder.
What distance makes the heart grow fonder.
Yeah, that one.
What's going on in MMA this week, dude?
I don't know. We should probably address the elephant in the room.
Oh, that's Joey's "we're different," but
but so like I mentioned last podcast that if once we found out Honor doesn't make the USADA deadline, I'm not watching Tough anymore.
Right.
So I didn't watch Tough. I already know that Chandler's team won.
Right.
But, like, I feel whole inside. Like, I don't have to fake that I'm, like, rooting for Chandler because they both can suck dicks.
Right.
And
I'm not a huge fan of either of them.
Yeah.
But in a game of two enemies, you got to pick one.
You got to pick the better one. Yeah.
And again, it's just gonna, like you were saying, it's going to be a clean sweep by Chandler's team. It's going to be, and then they're not going to fight. So it's just like there's.
Yeah.
I mean, other than maybe. It's semi-interesting because of the veteran factor of the show to see who's going to get another shot, but it's also like
But we're gonna see.
I'll wait till they get in.
We're gonna see who the finalists is. The two veterans that do make it to the very end.
And we can watch that.
And we're gonna watch that on the fight night. So we're not losing much. We're just losing that hype buildup that's gonna lead to nothing. So
here on this podcast, we suggest you watch something else. On Tuesdays. Was it Tuesdays?
Yeah, Tuesday.
Because it's really, other than the potential of them fighting and seeing a build up to a fight, there's no reason to watch. Again, because the fights aren't competitive. It's just and Conor is now just like he's a spectacle.
Well, he's got like the sexual allegations, like that. He's tied up for a long time.
I mean, he's always gonna have that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the thing, and Joey and I kind of talked on that too on the show of just like, what are we paying attention to him for anymore?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Anybody who's a huge Conor fight, and don't get me wrong, I'm a huge Conor fighter fan.
Yeah.
He is an extremely exciting fighter to watch. He's explosive. Anything can happen in one of his fights, and he's one of those guys who, for a long time, like Mystic Mac, like the guy literally called his shots before every one of his fights and pulled it off every single time, and until recent history.
He had like this. He had a good fight style, like karate based. His boxing was good. Like it wasn't like he didn't really have power, but he had precision. So that's what made him have the knockouts. Like.
Right.
Great counterpuncher. And
he was a guy, like, for as, like, flamboyant and crazy and psycho as he seems, like, he had a game plan. He knew exactly.
Yeah.
He was the guy who every fight, you could see him training exactly what he knocked that person out with. Yeah. They're talking about the Jose Aldo knockout is a perfect example of, like, he's going to come at me fast, and I'm going to step to the side, and I'm going to hit him with a check.
Yeah.
And it's, and
everything's counter-based. Like, he did, a lot of his early fights was like a setup with the high kick.
Right.
Like, you get that high kick going. He doesn't even have to land it, but that sets up everything else.
That being said, he's extremely skilled and extremely exciting fighter to watch, but he's not going to fight.
No.
So what the fuck? I don't care about his whiskey. I don't care about Roadhouse.
You brought that up. I think now what it makes a lot of sense is that Conor does these endeavors so he can still have the proper 12 on the octagon.
On the octagon.
Yeah,
that's true. Didn't he sell it though? Technically, now. I mean, I'm sure he still has. I think he sold it to like one of the, all booze brands get bought out by big conglomerates.
He probably sold it.
I think he sold it.
But I think he still has like the Dana White type deal. Like
right. Yeah, because I mean, there has to be a reason, unless he's just so vain that he just doesn't want to not be famous anymore.
Yeah.
Because I tell you what, I don't care what line of work it is. If I made $200 million on a booze brand, I would not do whatever it was I was doing before. I would just go do whatever I want and have tried my hardest to have no one see me do it.
Yeah, just like, I'm good. It's gonna get some money.
I guess getting to the position that he's in, a lot of people have to, he got as famous as he was because he wanted to be famous. And now he wants to keep being famous, but doesn't necessarily want to fight anymore. Yeah. So you gotta make your bones somehow. But yeah, no reason to watch. What else we got headlines wise here? Let's see.
We dropped some heat with the last picks of the last.
On the last fight night.
The last fight.
And Joey had the audacity.
I heard about. I was like, I'm gonna save it
to blame us for him losing a parlay, and because
it did. Wait, did it finish in
the
other card, right?
It was Torres with that crazy elbow knockout.
Oh, he got the other guy?
He picked the other guy because we were... who was he fighting? I can't even remember who he was fighting, but he... Mata? I
Almeida? No.
Oh, wait, no. We picked Torres. No,
we picked Torres because it was like the Mexico team. Like, we got... Like, no matter what happened between Irene Aldana...
Yeah, that's right.
Like, we're on the Mexico train.
I can't remember what he was angry about, but his parlay died on the vine because that was the first fight, and he picked Motto, and it was over. And then later, he broke even on his night because of our picks on the main card. So I was just like, you disrespectful son of a bitch.
I just want to touch on things like Muslim Salikov. Dolby is really good. It's just that he's one of those fighters. He doesn't he doesn't win the fight until he wins the fight. That's why.
Dalby, yeah.
Yeah.
And Salikov, I don't know if he shit the bed or if it's just like we were saying, like he's 400 years old in fight years, so it's just like eventually the train stops, whether you're how good of a wrestler or how good of whatever you are. So I think he just might be done.
I don't think he's done. He's gonna come back against someone else and is gonna start somebody like he usually does, because that's basically he's like a newer Jim Miller.
Right.
So he's someone to get back on the train, you know.
To switch to Jim Miller, since you brought him up.
Yeah.
What's your take? Have you seen like everybody talking shit to Daniel Cormier because Daniel Cormier says he doesn't think Jim Miller should be in the UFC Hall of Fame?
Dude, that dude always did.
Right, because of obviously being a guy who's a fucking been champ in 2 different weight classes, and he's Daniel Cormier is on the go. He's not just in the Hall of Fame; he's on the list.
He's one of the best to ever do it.
Right. So I get your high standard, but when it comes to the sport, especially a sport that's young, when it comes to Hall of Fames, right? There's plenty of people in the NFL Hall of Fame that are in there. Cal Ripken is like a perfect example, right? A guy that. I'm not sure if he's in the Hall of Fame or he should be in the Hall of Fame, but he has numbers, but it's also because of longevity.
Yeah.
And he had the streak of never missing a game for how many ever seasons. Yeah. You know what I mean? And shit like that. And it's like, but he never won a championship. He never,
Yeah, that's true.
Other sports are filled with longevity awards, basically. You know what I mean? So why shouldn't the UFC?
I think it should be, because he is one of the proponents of how it's shaped the way these new fighters come in, and how
and he's still with
MMA in a sport itself has evolved, and he's stuck with it and been able to be successful.
Evolve and beat these young guys who should be beating them. People should be beating Jim Miller now. A 23-year-old should beat Jim Miller because they've been training MMA since they were a child. Jim Miller wrestled as a child, then switched to BJJ, and then and evolved and added tools to his toolbox. These kids that he's fucking beating the brakes off of.
They have no reason for him to beat him.
They have been training everything since they were a baby. Why are they? Because Jim Miller is a bad motherfucker.
They should outlast him. But you see, who is it? Is it Alex? The last guy who beat him.
Morono?
Alex Morono, yeah. So he, usually every fight against some prospect that's like him, that's how every fight against Jim Miller should be. Right? Because everybody has better cardio.
They don't beat the shit out of him.
Better power.
But they beat him.
Yeah. Even though Alex Morono didn't really beat him, touched him up on the face, but
that's how somebody beats Jim Miller.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're young or old or whatever. You're just gonna have to beat him in a boring decision and outpoint him. You know what I mean? Because he's. But now, I don't know. I'm on Twitter. Like I said, I understand Cormier's high standard.
Well, Cormier's in a different thing. He should be talking about in his own, stay in your lane, buddy, because you're in the tier that not many people are gonna get into.
And that's the thing too. And it is
And I love DC, man. I hate when
me too. And that's it's kind of I guess I get where he's coming from, because it's Jim Miller's never even had a title fight. You know what I mean? But also to be as successful as he's been and to never get a title fight, that's an extraordinary in itself. You know what I mean? Of most people would have either given up or went to another promotion or did they would have done something different with their career. But he just keeps staying in the hardest position, never being rewarded for it. Because he'll put 3 fights together and then drop one.
But then DC will say that Cowboy needs to be in the Hall of Fame.
I don't get that.
It's the same. You're looking at the same guys, pretty much. He just
arguably more successful.
Yeah.
I mean, Jim Miller is just, I don't know. Cowboy's got his ass beat a bunch of times.
Yeah.
And not that
I'm not stock or anything like that.
Exactly. I'm not taking anything away from him, but I'm saying in the comparison to Jim Miller, nobody's really. Maybe I guess we could pull up his his losses and see a couple times where he got roughed up, but it's you don't see Jim Miller get the shit kicked out.
Yeah, there's highlights are him knocking out fucking these 18-year-old kids.
Right, it's so bizarre, and to not want him in the Hall of Fame, it seems kind of weird. I feel like he is the other than as far as people who have never been a champion. Yeah, he's top of the list
for sure. Man.
You know what I mean? How can you argue that?
Foot in the door, no matter what, you know.
And just it's you know, I don't know. It's just he's been fighting for so fucking long. It's just you and I every time he's on a card, we're just like, what the fuck? Like, what is Jim Miller doing? But it's like it's like a superpower, dude. Yeah. And he doesn't age too. Like you look at it, he looks the same. Yeah, he looks the same.
And if he shaves that beard, he looks like he's like 25.
Right.
Whatever he's on the Fountain of Youth, he has it. I want to go and
shout out Jim Miller. Yeah, you belong in the Hall of Fame.
You do. I also wanted to touch on what is it? The Trojan and the Christian Leroy Duncan fight.
Oh yeah.
Christian Leroy Duncan, you know, undefeated. He's very flashy. There is a reason in the UFC, like you can say Wonder Boy is along that type of fighting style, and Wonder Boy is probably going to be the only fighter that is going to be like that, like points background, because I mean, I'm pretty sure, say Raymond Daniels, UFC would have laid out the red carpet for Raymond Daniels.
Sure.
But he didn't do it. He went to Bellator.
That's probably a smart move.
There's Michael Venom Page. He won't get into the UFC. So I don't understand, like, seeing fighters and fights usually at the level that we watch them and constantly look why people were on Christian Leroy Duncan, because some meat and potatoes guy, like, Petrosian is going to smoke him, and it always happens. It happened in Bellator with Michael Venom Page and what's his name? The Diego brother. Douglas Lima. Douglas Lima. The Lima brothers, not Diego.
Yeah. But Diego Lima, Douglas Lima.
Yeah. But I mean, every once in a while you see one of those guys come through and they just put some meat and potatoes dude in front of him and he gets starched.
Well, but that's the thing is when you're fighting, I think when you're fighting a guy, it's all a fight IQ thing. I think when you're fighting those flashy type dudes, because no matter, I mean, probably Michael Venom Page might be one of the best at like not like telegraphing anything. You know what I mean? Just because he's so fucking fast, like they just, you know, some of the kicks come out of nowhere. But if you're a seasoned enough guy, and you know you're fighting a guy who throws a lot of crazy shit, there's a lot of tells, there's a lot of movements that you can kind of prepare yourself, put your arms up a little bit higher, you know what I mean, just prepare yourself to block
like
something.
There's game plan, like let him miss, like he's making big movements, big taxing movements.
Anytime there's a spin, there's an opportunity for you to take them down, you know what I mean, like, because if you're ready for a spin, all you got to do is just let them spin, and halfway through it, just dive at them, and you're going to get their back. It was perfect that when Christian Leroy Duncan did the spinning move and Petrosian locked on his back, it was like the same thing that Alexa Grasso did to Valentina Shevchenko. Exactly.
Like,
but that's what I'm talking about.
It is smart, like, you know.
If you know you're fighting, like, that only works when you're fighting someone with a low fight IQ or somebody who doesn't know, hasn't watched tape on you or whatever, you know what I mean? And, like, once you're to the part of your game where you've fought a lot of different folks, so you're looking for different stuff, but where you're watching tape and you're like, know who you're fighting. If you know this person's going to throw a lot of spinning shit or a lot of jumping shit or a lot of whatever, you can prepare yourself for it. And that takedown of just let him spin, and as soon as his leg passes my face, I'm locking around their waist. And you'll see that happen so many times against spinning fighters. Like,
I would be talking a lot different if he was up against another striker, because there's no reason not to go for Christian Leroy Duncan.
Of course,
you know, because he's obviously the best.
Yeah, if you're fighting somebody who's not going to want to take him down, then yes.
Someone with a stint of wrestling. I mean,
somebody who you know has no, you know, I guess you would call him a well-rounded or whatever fighter. Somebody who's more just, I don't care where the fight goes. I'm just going to put the fight in my most advantageous position. It's like, well, I don't want to sit here and have to time this guy's spins out, so I'm just going to take him down. You know what I mean? Like, that's all it is. It's just nullifying. It's a game, like you said, it's just a game plan. It's like, this guy wants to stand up and spin kick me, so I'm just going to grab his waist as soon as I can and keep him on the ground for the whole...
So whenever you make your picks and you know, you try to make your most educated picks, like, you look at that. Yeah. Who is this guy that he's fighting against? This guy's flashy, but if this dude is smart, you know, the wrestling base, you always go with the wrestler.
100%, because that's the great nullifier. Yeah. That's why when I say it's a smart move, like Raymond Daniels signed with somebody, not signing with you. The UFC is notorious for taking big time strikers and throwing them right in there with a wrestler and just fucking killing all the momentum right out the gate, you know? And especially like
Izzy's a very different, I guess, because it's not really. Well, like he was facing striker. Robert Whittaker is a good wrestler, but I don't think he's good enough. And I think it's like that factor, like holy shit.
But I think also Izzy. Too, like Izzy, although obviously super confident in his striking ability, right? He should be. He's not opposed to being in a different mindset for a fight.
Yeah. He's
not always like, I'm gonna go out there and take this guy's head off with a spinning kick. Like that's not how he thinks. Like he has the IQ of someone who can do anything. And I mean, he can.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's better at wrestling or jiu-jitsu than anyone else, but his mind can go like, okay, I'm fighting Robert Whittaker, right? Mm-hmm. You can't go in there like you're fighting someone who's strictly standing up with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If he knows that the person, there is no threat of a takedown, he's gonna take your head off.
The only thing I think the only thing that's with Izzy, like, that I can guarantee that I think is true is that he's gonna frustrate the person.
Of course. Well, like the Kelvin Gastelum fight is like
game plan number one.
You know, perfect example, right? Where striking wise, Izzy is light years ahead of Kelvin Gastelum, right? But because Kelvin is a fucking dog, dude, and like
those Mexicans, man.
And whether it's taking you down, whether it's dirty boxing, whether it's clinching up, whatever it is, like he's just going into fighting Kelvin Gastelum. You don't go into that fight. I don't care how confident you are. Mm-hmm. He's going to beat you if you think you're going to go in there and knock him out.
Yeah.
Like the knockout might come if you're an Izzy level striker, but it didn't.
No.
Right? And Izzy kept fucking fighting and kept doing his, trying to avoid what he needed to avoid, but then scoring his points and things like that. And he came out on top.
Yeah.
And a Christian Leroy Duncan fighting the way he fought Petrosian isn't going to win that fucking fight. So if Izzy went in there thinking my stand-up ability is just going to be so far above his that I'm just going to go in there and knock him out on the feet, he's going to take you down, he's going to grind you out. But he knew he was going to have to go in there and defend takedowns.
Yeah.
He knew he was going to go in there and clinch up and take elbows in the fucking face, and his face was going to get swollen up and bloodied and shit. And that's just how it is when you fight.
By far the worst the worst that Izzy's been in a fight. Like no one's gonna. I don't think anyone's gonna get
beat him up like that. Yeah. But he got beat up like that because he was willing to get in those positions, and I think that's why he won the fight.
Well, he had to, right?
Right. You know what I mean? No. So that's why he's on another level than some of these other, points, whatever you want to call them, kickboxers, point strikers, whatever. Because of that mindset, like you said, Wonder Boy is the last guy who is going to be just that and be in the top 5. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, that's not going to happen.
Even Wonder Boy has good wrestling defense and stuff. So, and like he had it. It's just what he does. Like you don't see Wonder Boy. Well, you have seen it lately, where once he gets taken down, like it's pretty much done.
Right.
But most of the time, everyone's gonna want to strike with him. Mm-hmm. So I mean, that's where I think. Like,
well, and that's with when he fought Tyron Woodley, right? Like, and everybody was so high on Woodley's, Rogan always likes to talk about that fight.
Yeah.
And how great of a fight it was for Woodley, and I'm just like, I don't think it was, even though he won arguably, I think he could have been way more dominant over him if he tried to fucking wrestle him rather than stand with him the whole time.
Yeah, that's true, man. Like it was like
that fight didn't go to the ground once. I don't think
it did. It just towards the end of the round, like.
Right. Well, yeah, because that's how he ended up getting a decision.
Yeah.
But I feel like if he would have done those, if he would have made him wrestle from the beginning of the rounds,
like Woodley before he was champion, going up like the way Woodley was when he was
Strike Force, dude. Woodley. Yeah.
Man, like Woodley was so good.
Yeah, and I think. Not that he would have had an easy time with Wonder Boy, but I feel like that fight in particular, just because everybody always talks about how that was like one of it.
It would be less close,
Less close.
Yeah.
It probably so would have went to decision.
Yeah.
But he would have just dominated the whole time, and it wouldn't have been like, oh man, what a great fight. It would have been one of those, Wonder Boy can't wrestle. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I feel like. Maybe like Woodley wasn't that confident in his wrestling, thinking that.
But that's how he fought at the end of his career.
Like up against the fence, like
he just stopped wrestling. Period.
Mentality of you got to take it from me, so I'm gonna sit here, and I'm gonna hold my ground.
Right.
Which I mean, hey, if you're the champion, you do what you do, right? But fans, it doesn't look great, you know.
No, not at all. And I mean, I don't know. I guess when you get rich and then you still have to fight, it's probably real hard.
Start singing songs saying "I beat your ass." And then
what else?
Marvin Vittori. Come on, can anyone?
What I call him on the Bungalow Sports Show this week. I called him. He's like the Italian punching bag. You know,
pretty much.
He's like a big old roll of fucking mortadella, dude, and you just get to beat the fuck out of it.
Just fucking, dude. That first round was scary, man. I guess like the first 20 seconds of that round was pretty scary.
Well, the guy can punch hard.
Yeah.
He can punch hard. But if you make him go a couple minutes into every round, you're just going to pick him
I think
apart.
Herb Dean should have stopped that fight, man. Everybody talks about how, like, oh, these fighters are so tough, man. This dude was getting hit with some shots that looked like they were just going to take off some years of his career.
Well, they did.
Yeah.
I told the story about me getting teched, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, there should be like a fucking mercy rule, dude, where it's just like, he's not going to win this fight.
No.
So why are we going to just let him, I don't know. But it's a brutal sport.
The fact that they say, like, you know, he just needs 10 seconds. It could be 10 seconds of the last round. Like, and we did see that with the...
Right. No, I mean, he's one of those dudes who only needs to land one shot. But MMA is a sport that the longer it goes into the fight, the further odds there are with that shot. And then, even if you have that shot, the power and the strength in the first round...
Yeah, it's not there.
That shot might not even be there in the fourth round. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, even if you catch him with it, like...
No, and you saw, like, when you watched the fight, you saw, like, those punches had sting on them in the first round. And then, after a while, like...
No, nothing.
Not much. Like,
no, it wasn't knocking out.
Cannoneer was absorbing them, or, like, moving a little better. Like, it wasn't as taxing as it was, you know?
And this is funny, is, like... And I haven't brought this up. I got to bring this up this week with Joey because I had a good laugh about it. Is you know, he was talking all this shit about Cannoneer, right, on this last episode, right, saying that I just didn't even think he struck that good. You know what I mean? He's talking about how high level his striking has gotten, and he comes out and in the moment, like on the show, I wasn't really thinking about it, so I was just like, I don't know. And then, like, I go back and I'm, like, going through my apps and I'm looking at news and stuff, and then I realize, wait, Cannoneer set a record for middleweight strikes in a fight. In that fight, Joey. Joey's like, he was throwing a lot, but I don't think he was landing them.
No, he was landing, dude. Like,
he set a record, and Joey thought he did it. He was like, oh, okay. Hard to impress. Joey's bar is high, apparently. He can't even set the record. I
guess he was jaded by the rose-colored glasses of the hype train that was for Vittori.
Right.
Well, and hey, man, if Vittori comes back after this, which I think he should probably wait a year and a half to fight again.
I mean, I don't even know who I want to see him fight. He needs to fight just an unranked guy or some shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or somebody at the very, 10, 11, 12, something like that.
Well, the thing is, the 10, 11, 12 guy is going to smash Vittori.
That's true. Yeah. Like, I don't even know who he fights now. Go to Bellator. Go to the NFL.
Yeah, go fight Corey Anderson.
Well, yeah, that's not going to go very well for him.
We'll make him use his wrestling. Come on, man.
Well, he can go to PFL and not do steroids, and then he'll be the champion.
Not do steroids. Everybody gets popped, and dude, all the top people, like Wilkinson. Who else is it?
The whole light heavyweight freaking bracket, dude.
Yeah,
got wiped out.
They got wiped out. What was it? That card 2 weeks ago, like. The top headliners had to cancel because they pissed hot.
Yeah,
that's who's gonna fight Francis Ngannou if he ever fights.
Right,
it's some roided up dude.
It might beat him.
Yeah, it might beat him. So like hey.
Well, hey, maybe Francis will be on some fucking shit too. You know what I mean? And then it'll be like that'll be.
It'd be like Uberim and freaking Brock Lesnar.
You see the pictures?
The
skinny pictures. I'll put one up.
He still looks good, but
no, he does. But it's just crazy. The difference.
You're used to seeing him like with this bottom chin muscle.
Well, if anybody that article's written by Cassius, because if you go back and watch like when he fought Chuck Liddell in Pride, he was a skinny back when he fought light heavyweight. He was a skinny dude.
Well, even in the heavyweight Grand Prix, he's back to what he usually looked like.
Right. No, he's not like all that stuff stuff was
But the horse meat
juice.
days,
Like,
man.
that was all horse meat, dude.
The horse meat days,
He
man.
just stopped eating horses.
Overeem was the baddest of the baddest, man.
But it's like, you know, funny how like MMA media is. It's like we talk about Gordon Ryan. He got sick and lost a bunch of body mass and stuff. And it's like these dudes are still jacked and like in better shape than anybody. And we're like, look at him, he's dying. And it's like, no, you're just fucking fat. Dude.
Yeah.
Like
Gordon Ryan's all he's gonna do after he's done. He's gonna inject himself and then get right back on the train. Which
but it's
we
just
all
funny
know, like,
because it's like maybe Overeem's just done fighting now, right? And like he's not tired of carrying around another 100 pounds of muscle, and he's just gonna be a normal dude.
I'm not gonna spend $10,000 a day on supplements.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So it's like it's just funny because it's like, what has he got, cancer? It's like, no, he's just not doing steroids.
He's
anymore.
normal. He's at his normal body frame, you know?
It's like he's not even normal. He's still a fucking super athlete. You know what I mean?
You still see his arms ripped as fuck.
I know.
Like
It's
those
just
biceps are like that shirt's
like,
barely
Gordon Ryan,
containing
will
it.
he ever recover? It's like, dude, I will take that fucking sick body any day of the week. But whatever. It's the internet for you.
Yeah.
All right, we got fight night. Josh Emmett versus Tupouria.
Ilya
Tupouria, Jacksonville.
All right, so
Jacksonville, Florida. This one, not bad. A lot of good matchups coming on here. Let's see, what do we got in the prelim department? That's a good fight right there.
The Neil Magny and Phil Rowe?
The headlining fight on the prelims, Neil Magny and Phil Rowe. This one's going to be a good scrap. Neil Magny is one of those Jim Miller types.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He hangs around.
Shows up. Phil
Rowe's on his way up. This is going to be his chance to get a number next to his name, obviously. Neil Magny's ranked number 11.
I remember watching Phil Rowe fight, and I think I picked against him, and he upset my my pick. But I'm not sure if his wrestling is on par to... I don't think he really has wrestling at all. I think he's mostly just...
I know we're going to find out.
Jiu-jitsu.
Neil Magny's definitely gonna take him down, or attempt to, right?
Yeah.
Bunch of freaking tall motherfuckers, dude. 6'3", both of them.
Yeah.
Neil Magny's usually used to being super tall for the division. I don't know. I mean, it's always hard to like go against Neil Magny, right? Because he's kind of one of those Jim Miller types where when you don't think he's not going to win, he wins, and then when all right, he's and then it's like Neil Magny, dude, he's going to do it, and then he fights somebody in the top 5 and he gets beat.
Yeah, coming off a loss, I think Neil Magny does take this. I mean, sorry, Phil Rowe.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like I would like Phil Rowe to win and kind of get a number, get some confidence, because he's one of those guys who's gonna be in the top 10 eventually. But it's like Neil Magny is a dream killer, and this is just like you said, coming off a loss is the perfect fight for him to just stomp somebody's flame out.
I go Neil Magny decision. He might eke out a submission. That's probably most likely what would happen, submission or decision.
I think it'll be decision. I think it'll be decision. Neil Magny, probably a lot of wrestling.
Randy Brown and Wellington.
That's what I was gonna say. Right before that fight, it'll be Randy Brown, Wellington Turman. Randy Brown, I like that guy's fighting style.
Wellington Turman, didn't he subbed someone he wasn't supposed to sub at all? Was it Alexei Olenek?
Let's find out.
Because Wellington Turman is very underrated.
His last fight was Petrovsky.
It was like a couple fights ago.
Let's see, fight history. Submission right here. Serkinov, Misha Serkinov.
Oh, that's him. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that fight because, me, I love a good name. Yeah. And being a Brazilian named Wellington Turman.
Yeah, 2 first names.
And it's also like...
Or 2 last names, yeah.
It's like... Brazil's one of those interesting countries. Like, all those South American countries are interesting because you got that fleeing Nazi...
like Argentina,
emulsification into some of their names. So like you'll get Brazilians or Argentinians or something with like a really German name or like
Johnny Walker,
or just a real white name, and you're just like, where's that come from? It's all his great grandpa was a Nazi. Like, you know what I mean? Like So I mean, I'm not saying your grandpa was a Nazi, Wellington. It might have been your great grandpa.
Jamaica still's got little time to like make its resurgence. I want some like they need with their capoeira base. They need to.
Well, Randy Brown's the man, dude. Like he's a heavy favorite in this one. He's a minus 225.
I'm gonna take Turman.
You're gonna take Turman?
Yeah. Well, go ahead and talk about what you're gonna.
No, I was just saying that I don't know that I would have, if I was making the odds, I wouldn't have Randy Brown as such a heavy favorite. So if you're in the mood for a dog, Wellington Turman is a good dog right here.
I just see Rebecca's gonna be a good fight too.
Yeah, no, as I'm going down now, I'm like, oh, wait, there's a lot of good fights on this because we got Rebecca versus this Tajikistani guy.
Yeah. We're going from top down. We're not going...
Yeah, we are. We're going opposite because I didn't think we were going to talk about anything with Neil Magny, but now I'm like, oh, wait, there's a couple good ones on here.
Jillian Robertson and Tabitha Ritchie.
That's going to be a good fight.
One. Here we go. Zumagulov. Okay, this guy right here. Let's talk about this because he's...
From Kazakhstan.
The judges do not like him.
No.
He's won 3 of his last fights.
I think it's that Liverpool Beatles haircut he's got.
Lost. Yeah, dude, it's so terrible.
It's so bad.
But he's like, he's a good wrestler.
Well, this Joshua Van fight, because it's a flyweight. Flyweights are always tough. It's kind of like betting on female MMA.
Yeah.
Where it's like it's either like one party is super dominant, or it's just going to be a really hard decision.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Zamagulov, this is definitely a winnable fight. So
and the odds aren't even up. So like I think.
Right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Zumagulov is going to be a favorite here.
Not if it goes to decision.
Not if it goes to decision. So like if you guys are going to pick him, you might be fucking sweating bullets if it goes to decision because the judges do not like him at all.
Yeah.
Jack Jenkins.
Oh yeah, that Jack Jenkins.
Yeah, there's going to be a slobber knocker right there.
And Jamal Emmers. That's a featherweight. Yeah, that's a featherweight slobber knocker. Wow, I'm surprised that Jenkins is the dog in that one.
Yeah,
that's a good dog there too.
Yeah. And the other two aren't really
not too bad. I mean, Cody Brundage. Obviously, he's been around for a while. He's just a straight wrestler, and Cedric Dumas. Cedric being Sedriquez. Now that's a spelling, dude.
Yeah.
That is a spelling worthy of the NFL draft. Man, that's gonna be your classic striker versus wrestler right there. Those are pretty solid prelims right there, man.
Yeah.
So those are free on ESPN.
Yeah, I'd say Robertson by submission. Zumagulov losing to the judge's decision.
You think so?
Yeah,
he's gonna lose another one.
I'm pretty sure he's gonna lose another one, man. Because he does everything right. It's just Rebecca with the knockout.
Right.
Let's see, Wellington Turman. That's gonna be a good fight.
Wellington Turman. Yeah, I feel like Wellington Turman can sub Randy Brown if you're looking for a good dog pick.
Yeah.
And like I say, if you want to go long money, man, Wellington Turman by submission.
Yeah.
That's a fun one right there. Because it's going to be one of those fights. Because Randy Brown's obviously going to want to keep it standing, and Wellington's going to keep trying to take him to the ground probably.
And guys, if you don't like Neil Magny, just take the over in that fight.
Just take the over, definitely. That's probably a guarantee, close to a guarantee on this fight card.
It might be
is a Neil Magny over.
Yeah, it might be like minus 350, but hey, it's a for sure win.
Yeah, put your mortgage on it. You'll make like $7. All right, let's get in the main card. This is this is on ABC and ESPN. This whole thing's free.
Yeah. Good
lordy lord. All right, UFC, you're finally giving us some free stuff. Even though I still pay for ESPN Plus. First fight, it's going to be a good one. This Brendan Allen, Bruno Silva. Brendan Allen, he's one of those guys who came out with like a ton of hype.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I guess he's
I like Brendan Allen. He's got the good wrestling base, but like Bruno Silva took. Is this the right Bruno Silva? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He's the one who took Alex Pereira to decision.
Right. Well, he's a fucking good striker, dude. Yeah. And like he kind of like if you were to shave his head, he kind of looks like what's his face the kickboxer dude with the women are stupid shit. The guy who's being indicted for human trafficking right now.
What is it? The Tate brother?
Tate, yeah, he kind of looks like Andrew Tate if he cut his hair.
Yeah. You know, like, and you look at Bruno Silva's past fight, like, he lost to Gerald Meerschaert, which is like, he's a submission phenom.
Yeah, Gerald Meerschaert's not a slouch at all.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, I'm going Bruno Silva on this. I'm not going to lie. I mean, Brendan Allen is a great wrestler.
Yeah.
And obviously is showing out. He's got a ranking already. But again, I think Bruno Silva's a good dog there.
Yeah.
Because taking Alex Bahia to a fucking decision and basically a full long stand-up fight.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really going to come down to
and
wrestling defense.
He has ground game.
That's what I'm
Bruno
saying.
Silva has the ground game to do it. So
he's got one of those ground games where it's like he's not going to really mind getting taken down because he can work jiu-jitsu. It's going to be a good fight. I'm going dog. This might be a dog night.
It could be. Yeah,
for
I'm
me,
taking Bruno Silva as well.
All right, next fight, featherweight division. David Onama, Gabriel Santos.
Man, David Onama.
They don't have the odds up yet. I'm going to guess that Onama's going to be a favorite.
Yeah, he's going to be a favorite. So, I mean, what is it? He's from
Uganda.
What is it? Africa Fight League. What is it? What is it called? The AFL? AFC?
Something like that.
Yeah. I mean, he's supposed to be a good striker. The last 2 fights that he had in the UFC, like, he was supposed to starch dudes.
Right.
These meat and potatoes guy just got him, man. Like,
well, and that's what we were talking about before. Man. This whole episode is like of the flashy striker relying too much on, or not relying too much, but just being too confident in their striking ability against somebody who has no problem making it a grinding fight.
Yeah.
I don't know if Gabriel Santos is that guy, but they're both coming off losses. But I think Onama takes this one. Yeah. He's kind of one of those guys come in with hype. And,
I'm gonna watch this one and see, because if I were gun to my head to pick, I would go against him. I
definitely wouldn't bet on it. Yeah. This is kind of like, okay, Onama, what do you got? This is that fight kind of a thing where it's like the first one, it's like the first loss.
Well, the very first loss was short notice,
right?
And then the second loss was he had a camp. It's like, this is my proper debut. Still got starched.
Right. So we'll give you one more shot here on the show, and after that you're on the list.
I think UFC's giving him one more shot too.
I think that's it. Oh yeah, I mean you lose 3 in a row right out the gate. It don't matter what the hype train.
Yeah, we'll see him on the next Tough with Conor McGregor again.
Or he'll be melting piss cups at the PFL.
Yeah.
All right, Austin Lane, Justin Taffa, heavyweight bout. This Austin Lane guy is an interesting character. I wonder why his picture's black and white.
I don't know.
That's maybe a little disrespectful.
Maybe the tattoos or no, I don't know.
I don't know what it is.
I think it's what is it, the UFC what is it, design editors didn't really catch that. This
is going to be an interesting one. He's got 6 inches on Taffa. This is 6'6" versus 6 foot.
Yeah.
And
but man, Taffa, that belly button tattoo, man. I have to pick him just for that.
That's hardcore, dude.
Was it the Godsmack son and he just like gained weight?
Dude, there's this contractor that I see all the time. It's like all us construction guys go to Home Depot at the same time every fucking morning, pretty much, right? And this guy wears like bejeweled pants and shit. Like he's a legit
true religion.
Yeah, like he's a legit contractor, but he wears fucking like True Religion, fucking with the fleur de lis on it, with fucking bejeweled, and they're all frayed and shit. And he's got, I'm sure he was wearing Affliction shirts when it was Affliction.
Yeah.
And they're just skin tight, and sometimes they're so tight, like when he's loading up lumber, like he gets the halter top going on because they ride up, and he's got the Godsmack sun around his belly button.
Oh, he does.
Oh man, I saw it a couple months. Like I always he's got the bleach tip, spiky. He's red from fucking
just being out
tanner
there.
And
I wonder if he keeps his like workspace really clean to be wearing those clothes.
He must. I don't know. I look like a homeless guy half the time, dude. Like, I'm wiping caulking on my pants.
If I saw someone like that working on my house, like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Like, why are you taking so much fucking time just keeping yourself clean?
It's like, you look too clean to be doing that anyway.
He must be good, but...
Or he subs it all out.
Yeah, he just waits in his truck, like, are you done yet?
Yeah, exactly.
Rolls the window down halfway.
That might
Whenever
be
he
more
has
to
to
the
get out of the
point.
truck, he
He's
gets
like,
really
you made me show my Godsmack tattoo at Home Depot today, loading that lumber up.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, okay, Toffa, we're going for you just for the belly button tattoo. I guess, and look, okay, yeah, forget Austin Lane. He's covered in tattoos, and look at his belly button, it's bare.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, come on, man.
Get out of here.
He said, you know
Austin
what?
Lane.
I don't want...
I can't take that
to be covered. Yeah.
in my belly button.
Yeah.
There's too many nerve endings out.
You imagine if that's why he got that tattoo? He's like, I want the belly button tattoo. I want to show people this is grueling.
That might have something to do with it, because it's obviously a tribal tattoo. It's definitely a tap.
Yeah.
You can tell.
Oh, man, dude.
Yeah. But that shows you the difference, right? That seals the deal for me. Austin Lane got covered in tattoos and told the guy, skip my belly button. That shit hurts too bad.
Yeah.
Justin Toffa's like, my whole chest is going to be bare. Just hit my belly button.
Yeah. That's how much of a man I am.
Wow. Okay, dude. Justin Toffa for the, I'm going to say knockout.
Yeah, knockout for sure.
It's going to be one of those Mark Hunt style because he's so much shorter.
Yeah.
It's going to come way over the top, you know what I mean?
Or who's it, who's the other guy? The shoey dude?
God damn it. We're getting old, dude. Like, all these names in my head.
He doesn't fight that much, so like...
Well, his best friend is Tyson Pedro. I remember that name because they do a podcast together. He's another heavyweight, and he's from New Zealand. Dude, we're old.
Yeah.
Moving on. All right, women's flyweight bout, Macy Barber, Amanda Ribas. This is going to be a banger right here for a female fight, I believe. I'm not going to bet on it because I just can't bet on the women anymore, dude. They break my heart every single time. It's kind of like in real life, you know what I mean?
I'm just saying, if you do, don't do Hebus, dude. Like, she's skilled, but dude, Macy Barber's too big, man.
Macy Barber's big, and she's a grinder.
Yeah.
And I definitely...
Her and butt chin, what is the fucking California kid? Been doing some work, man.
Her an old ass face.
You know,
really doing work. And I mean, say what you want about Uriah Faber. Team Alpha Male pumps out some of the most skilled fighters.
What is it? Look, his camp, like his other woman fighter, was it Xiao Ying, or she's
right?
Gonna be...
Yeah. One of those X names, one of those Chinese X names. And then, I mean, even in the past, I mean, I know things didn't work out in the fight department, but like Paige Van Zandt was with them at the beginning. You know what I mean? When she was tearing through people. Just women fighters specifically, but then just male fighters since the beginning of all this, dude. I mean, you've got a long list of guys who are straight up savages that came out of there. And savages, very skilled savages, you know, TJ Dillashaw.
Good wrestling base.
I guess Dwayne Ludwig kind of refined TJ Dillashaw, but, you know.
Yeah.
Just a lot of guys coming out of there. I think... I mean, I don't know. I'm surprised Macy Barber isn't ranked. Is that surprising to you? I feel like...
No, not really. That loss to, what's her name? Roxanne Modafferi.
Oh, yeah.
That really put a wrench in her.
You should not be ranked at all if you lost to Roxanne. I'm sorry, Roxanne.
Yeah.
You seem like a really nice person, but...
Yeah, Roxanne. I mean, Roxanne's a gangster, but like...
at the end, if you lost to Roxanne at the end of her career like that... I mean, Macy Barber, that was one of her first fights in the UFC,
first fight.
Her very first fight, so... I don't know. I'm definitely going Barber on that one. Oh, wait, she is
a fate.
They're both ranked 11? What? Are they tied? What does that mean?
Hebus is like, she had like the coming out party when she smashed Mackenzie Dern, and I feel like if she fights Mackenzie Dern again, Mackenzie Dern's just gonna fucking starch her. Yeah,
Mackenzie Dern's kind of leveled up since they fought last, but...
Dude, now she has to make those alimony payments, so she's gonna be like dealing some leather in that cage.
Oh yeah.
You know?
That's score one for the dudes right there. Very rare female.
You imagine, dude?
Very rare female alimony payments. But...
How fucked up do you gotta be, man?
I know.
Yeah.
But dude, this is this is a dog night, dude.
Yeah.
Because I just realized that Rebus is a minus 200 favorite to a 170 dog. Macy Barber dog bet, dude.
Yeah, dude, the shoe-in. If she does
Over. Macy Barber and the over,
Yeah.
dude. That's a good little bet right there.
Because Rivas has good striking, but Barber, like, she's not as good, but
This is the fight.
She fills her space. She
This
makes
is
it a
her
close
fight style. This
Yeah.
is a good fight for her.
Up against the cage, bunch of knees, elbows. She pummels good.
She has great defense when fighting someone who is a better striker than her too.
Yeah, I mean Rivas will get you on the ground and like look for submissions. While Macy Barber will just look to score points. So
she's always trying to hit you all the time. But dude, let's do this last fight and then we'll put together a little dog parlay because, well, definitely not going to get a dog out of this main event.
No. I'm going to Ilia Tupouria.
Josh Emmett versus Ilia Tupouria. Tupouria, I mean, I know his last fight was against Bryce Mitchell, and Bryce Mitchell, obviously a submission whiz kid type dude, but I honestly wasn't that surprised by the ass whooping that he took from Ilia Tupouria, you know what I mean? And Josh Emmett, he's the perfect guy to ruin this for me and ruin the Ilia Tupouria train, because Emmett is right there. He's always been right there in the championship contention, and he just can't do it.
Yeah.
And he'll keep being there and keep ruining other potential great fights.
But he didn't ruin Yair, which he should have probably won that by he should have definitely won that.
But he didn't.
No, he didn't. Ilya has the power.
I think Ilya would beat Yair, so I think Ilya wins this fight.
I did used to say that he has Ilya has really bad cardio management.
Okay.
But he's shown that, like, especially against the Bryce Mitchell fight.
Right.
Like that was my biggest thing. Like, okay, like first round he's gonna win. Second round you're gonna see him fade. He never faded in the second round.
Right.
Just pretty much put the beating on Bryce Mitchell and his flat Earth. And
Yeah. Well, I mean, and your O's got to go eventually, dude.
Yeah.
And that scares me even more now, because now I'm like, fucking Josh Emmett. He's gonna ruin the Tupouria train. He's gonna give him his first loss.
Should we go dog just because of the O's right there? Should we do it?
Son of a... I mean, yeah, if you're talking about a dog parlay, Emmett, Barber, Tafa. You think Tafa would be a dog? They haven't got those odds up yet. I say for this main card, an Emmett, Barber, Bruno Silva dog parlay is a nice little three-fighter dog parlay for this main card. Bruno Silva, Macy Barber, Josh Emmett. Son of a bitch. They're going to make me deposit money into my betting account, dude. I don't get it. Alexis gets free play because he's played for longer and he's won more than I have. They don't send me free play because I don't win. I don't win.
What is it? The VIP club?
Yeah, dang. All right. I mean, I really think Ilia Tupouria is going to win this fight, but when you think more about just Emmett and just kind of another guy with
he's throws one of those. Loss. He wants to get back.
Throw an overhand. He's got that overhand that'll knock you out. Catch one of those.
Striking. Power versus power. Okay, so even to so we got power versus power here.
Right.
Immediately cancels itself out.
Sure. Well,
sometimes. But there's been times where I'm like these guys are gonna bang, and power versus power, and then it just ends up going to decision.
Right, because then they throw too much power up front, then they get a little tired, then they start being more tentative, and then you start getting
they start pointing
10 punches around in 3, 4, and 5 because.
Yeah,
they're conserving energy to hopefully land
get
that punch.
Yeah.
Definitely could be one of those, but fuck, dude.
I would like to see how Tupouria's wrestling is.
Right, and I mean Emmett's the perfect guy to test that too, I guess.
Fuck it.
And coming off of a fight where Emmet fought basically a pure, not a pure striker, but a guy who obviously is preferred to strike. Maybe Emmett's
he got subbed by that.
I know, but fuck. I don't know, dude.
MMA math is weird, man.
There is none, dude.
Yeah.
I need to go to a tutor. But all right, yeah.
Betalytics, what do they got on this fight?
They don't have anything.
They don't got, of course.
We're the Betalytics.
Of course, right?
They don't do MMA.
Because if you look at every possible situation, I mean,
they can't.
Josh Emmett can wrestle fuck him and lay on him for a decision. He can also get him with the clean shot in the beginning. So can Ilya.
It's really making me feel better about this dog parlay the more we talk about this, right? Because seeing how much of a favorite Ilya Tupouria is, that's got to be only because of his O.
Yeah.
Josh Emmett just fought for a fucking title, and he's 5th ranked, and he's been in the top 5 for how many years now? And then you got Tupouria, whose biggest win is against Bryce Mitchell.
Yeah.
And yes, he's top 10 now.
Against a sick Bryce Mitchell.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's just undefeated because he's a minus 325. Yeah. That's huge.
That's huge.
I
wouldn't trust that.
No. I wouldn't at all. Not against Josh Emmett, because Josh Emmett's a party ruiner.
Yeah.
He's a party ruiner, dude. Like, he's the guy that nobody cares about online, and then he ruins the party.
Yeah, and then everyone's like, I was a Josh Emmett fan since day one.
You know?
And, like, no one was saying anything about it.
No, you weren't. No one was.
Yeah. We just like, this guy's still fucking fighting?
Well, yeah, it's one of those guys where it's like, yes, I've been watching this for so long, so yes, I know who Josh Emmett is. I've watched every one of his goddamn fights, but it's like, I'm never on a random day going like, oh, you think it's like watch Josh Emmett fight?
You think this is like, what is it, like the roll of the dice? Like when you get like those coaches when they see like Josh Emmett, they're like, fuck!
Yes, 100%. It's like Jim Miller. Yeah. It's like all these like just party ruiners. The hype train, the superstar party comes into town and they just snuff it out. They piss all over it, dude. They piss all over our campfire. All right. Tupouria campfire.
You're not gonna piss on our campfire. Well. You shouldn't. So I'm gonna pick you. Okay? You still can, right?
You still can't commit.
So, because man, like
all right, my official parlay for this card is going to be that dog Emmet, Barber,
all right,
and Bruno Silva.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna say anything else because I don't want to talk myself out of it. But like I said, if you don't win, don't blame me, Joey, or anyone else, all right? They're all dogs. I'm telling you to bet on Las Vegas thinks these guys are going to lose the fight. But I'm telling you, they might win. Yeah. And that's enough. That's enough. All right, well, thanks for coming into the studio.
Yeah. I'm glad you got this square thing figured out before I got here.
I know. I couldn't embarrass you. Yeah. Have you come in here and have a tiny little
I know.
Like Joey.
Yeah. You guys had a good practice run when I watched it. I was like, that looks good, man.
I used that one. That was kind of the test. I was kind of figuring out angles and stuff. I was like, we'll do it with Joey when it doesn't matter. And then Alexis will come in and we'll have the squares figured out. But anyways, all right, buddy. Thank you.
All right, man.
Everybody, watch the fights. They're free. ABC, Saturday night. Just go check them out and maybe throw some money on it. Yeah. And if you lose, don't blame me. If you win, I'll take a percentage.
Got a tip jar. Get a tip jar going.
Finder's fee. You know what I mean? You pay for the Betalytics information.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Why shouldn't they pay us when we help them win? Oh yeah, I have a graphic right here of something that I was supposed to talk about. Bungalow Fight Night Live on July 29th. We will be live streaming and watching UFC 291, Poirier Gaethje 2. We'll have Joey in studio. We'll have Alexis on the interwebs, and then hopefully periodically some of the other Peak One personalities will be popping in and out.
Yeah.
And it'll just be fun. We're just gonna sit in here and talk and make fun of the fighters, most likely.
Yeah, pretty much.
Make fun of ourselves and our bets, and you guys can bet along with us, if you so choose. It's gonna be a good time. Mark your calendars. Next week, when you are back home,
yes,
we were going to do a test run. So next week, this fight preview will be live next Thursday night, and it may suck because we're going to be testing out our streaming. I gotta do a test run to get all the streaming stuff. So I'm like, why waste it? Let's just do a live show, and that's it.
Yep.
All right. Enjoy the fights. We'll talk to you
later.